Right, we are finally painting these Black Templar Neophytes. Hi, my name's Paul, welcome back to the channel, and I've been slowly working my way through this Black Templar combat patrol, and in this video, I'm finally going to paint these Black Templar Neophytes. I've been alluding to it in every single video I've done. At the end, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to do the Neophytes next, and I always get distracted by something else, but nope, in this video, we're actually going to build all 4 of these Neophytes and paint them up start to finish completely. I'm actually quite excited to paint these, you know, like, because everything I've painted so far in this combat patrol and in my other videos is Terminators, some Infernus Marines, and the Crusaders. So it's all been Space Marines in big chunky power armor. Whereas this, with these Neophytes, yeah, these Neophytes are just like normal dudes with like skin showing and with like leathery like gloves and boots and such. So I'm quite interested actually to see what it's like painting just normal guys and skin textures and leather rather than just big chunky power armor. So yeah, let's crack open this box, build some Neophytes, and then get painting. Sweet, so we've got our Neophyte page and we've got our precious sprues, our plastic crack. Oh. So start by building some of the torsos, the legs of the body and the belt. It looks like we need 23, 4, 5, 6 and 7, nice and easy. Cool, so next up we've got some variants to pick from. Actually, I've got ahead of myself, little spoiler there. But so we've got a blue one, which is like guns across the chest. I'm a little bit, I do want to do one of these, but my only concern is it covers up the chest. So I'll have to sub-assemble this, which is fine. So I might do that for one of them. But I do really like the melee weapons. So I'm going to do the green, I think, and the pink. Yeah, this is really cool. I love that. I love like just the assertive poses where they're like pointing weapons or like look like they're in the middle of combat. I will say I might actually just leave this off and like paint it on its own, just because when I put it on the side here, like it covers like so much of this area here that I won't be able to paint, and also at the back of it. So I might sub-assemble this and do it on its own. Sweet, so I think all that's left are the heads and the shoulder pads. So that is, I think it's C87 on all of them. I think, yeah, they all have the same shoulder pads, so I'll cut out 8 of those. And then the heads are just C95. Yeah, there's the same selection for all of them, it looks like. So we've got a few heads to pick from, although I will say they're all actual heads. So I have to paint some skin and some faces for the first time. I might just do the simple ones, maybe one of the fancy ones. So C95, 6, 7 and 8. Cool, so we've got some heads here. I actually did change my mind. I went for 2 of the basic heads and 2 of the like sort of fancy heads off of the B sheet. I think this is the upgrade sprue that you get extra with the combat patrol. If I'm not mistaken, this is like a thing you can buy on its own. It comes free with the combat patrol, and it's all the fancy extras. So I do actually want to use as much of this as possible because, yeah, this seems like all the cool, fancy, interesting stuff. Like I said, I'm going to leave these off though, I think, just because they'll be a bit easier to paint. Cool, so I've got to prime these boys next, and obviously I want to do a Xenophil, but they're disassembled, so it'd be hard to get the natural shadows when this guy's missing an arm and a head. So I'm going to use super advanced futuristic technology and techniques to construct these boys temporarily for a Xenophil. Blue tack. I'm just going to blue tack like their arms and their heads and their shoulders on just while I want to get the Xenophil. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're just going to chuck a tiny bit of blue tack there, and then that way we can put his arm on here like that, and that should hold it on temporarily so we can get the Xenophil effect, and then we can take this off afterwards and paint it on its own, just because it covers up, like you can see, if I leave it on, it covers up like half the belt and the side and everything, so it'd be impossible to paint while on the model. But this way we can stick it on temporarily to get the Xenophil and then take it off to paint. And I think we can do the same with the shoulders. Just get a teeny tiny bit of blue tack. Yeah, look at that. It's almost like he's actually been glued and like built. So I'm just going to do this for all of them, and then we'll go outside and prime them. Sweet, here we are, all 3 of the boys built. There is only 3, not 4, because I did one as a tester already. So we've just got these 3 left, all held together by blue tack. We've got a Chaos Black for the first round, and then we're going to slap on a grey after this for like a Xenophil effect. Unreal, so here's all 4 of our primed Neophytes. So now we get to enjoy the fruits of our labour in terms of this blue tack situation. So now we should be able to just pull this head off, pull these shoulders and this arm off. Look at that! We've got the Zenithal Prime, and now we can also paint everything individually. There we go, all the blue tack's been removed, and we've got this sort of sub-assembled Neophyte, all primed with Zenithal, ready to be painted individually. So just disassemble the rest of them and then get to the fun part. So yeah, we've got our 4 Neophytes, and I'm loving it. I love this sort of like production line. It feels so efficient and so cool. So yeah, we just sub-assembled the shoulders and all of them, just because they're a little bit fiddly and easier to get around. I've just chucked them on some cork with some blue tack. I've sub-assembled the arm off of this guy just because it takes up a lot of room. I'll just stick it on this cork in a minute. And then this guy's got his shotgun sub-assembled just because it will cover most of his chest. I guess we can just get started then. I guess, as always, we'll start with the usual. Just a layer of Black Templar on top of the armour sections. So these pants, looking at the box art, look like they're black. They're not armour, they're just normal trousers, but they're the same Black Templar. These panels and these chest pieces. So next up we're just going to dry brush some Calgar blue over some of this armour section. So we've got like the side panels here, the knee pads and the chest. Just going to do what we normally do and just try and really target the specific edges. So if we look at this knee, rather than go all over the model, we're going to just try and like really target these edges. Yeah, like that. It does make it a little bit chalky, but we'll go over it with a wash at the end. I do think it's quite funny that originally I chose rust grey as my edge highlight purely for like a learning educational standpoint. So I just chose it because I thought, oh, this would be a really bright colour, so once I've applied the edge highlights I'll be really easy to see and review them to see where I've gone right, where I've gone wrong. So I chose it purely just to be like, oh, it'll help me learn. But now I've kind of ended up sticking with it. I just ended up using it on all of my Black Templar. I do think I actually do kind of like it, to be fair. I do quite like the nice bold highlights on the black armour. I know a lot of people use some other darker greys like a Ministratum or Mechanicus Standard or whatnot. But yeah, I actually quite like the bright blue of the rust grey. I actually think that's all of the highlights. Yeah, this, Joe, actually, I don't want to toot my own horn, but this is a really good showing of the rust grey dry brush sort of highlights I'm going for and what I quite like. So yeah, we just dry brushed all the edges of this panel. We can see kind of around the knee. It's made this sort of nice grey highlight, and then a little bit there. Where else does it come out? Kind of on the back here, like in the folds of the trousers as well. But yeah, we do this sort of dry brushing. There's a little bit of chalkiness left over, kind of like some overflow. And I'm in two minds at the minute about what to do with that, because I kind of like it in a way. It kind of adds like some, like, rather than just like a straight line of a highlight, kind of like a natural light, maybe some wear and tear or whatever. But I've seen some people do a non-oil wash over everything afterwards. So do like Black Templar contrast, highlights of dry brush, and then non-oil over the top to darken it all down and get rid of the shady parts. And that is quite good as well. So we'll see how we feel at the end, but yeah, for the time being, well, these like dry brush highlights are looking great. I absolutely love them. I really like these. I'm a big fan of the Neophytes. It's quite nice to come back to some Space Marines after that Tyrannid. It feels comfortable and warm, like a warm Black Templar blanket, just to come back to something I know, like the colour scheme, all the different components. I'm like, oh, yes, it's just a little bit easier, you know? But the dry brushing, really good this time. Yeah, like especially on these back panels, and like some of the trouser folds, it's quite funny, they all have the exact same fold in the knee, like just here. I don't know, like just there. But yeah, I really like how the dry brushing has come out on these guys, especially with all like the cloth and whatnot. I'm also I absolutely love having this little production line on my desk, having all the little like organisation of like the 4 Neophytes, each of their components. It's quite fun having like all of them laid out in their own little like sections. Like if I just take this off actually. Yeah, so look, I've got like all 4 of them. They've got their own little like workflow lane. Like this is the dude and his guns, and they've all got that, like their shoulders behind them. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying this, having like a little production line set up. And I feel like it's paying off. Like I feel really productive. Like I feel like I've done loads. Like I've only done a base coat and some highlights, but I'm looking at them like that's on four minis. Like, we're cracking through this. Next up, I want to do some browns. There's a brown people talk about for the boots that I don't have that I want to go get. Ah, Rhinox hide. That's it. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of recipes reference Rhinox hide for the boots and the gloves. So yeah, I'm going to go to the shop tomorrow and grab some Rhinox hide. I'm going to have to leave it there for tonight because it's like 11:45. But I'm going to grab some Rhinox hide from the shop tomorrow, and then we're going to crack on with, I don't know what next. I think the boots. Actually, no, I'm going to do the Tabard next. I've changed my mind. So yeah, next thing you'll see is me in the morning doing some Xandru dust. Xandru dust on the Tabard. Of course, like we mentioned, we're going to put a layer of Xandru dust on the Tabards here. Hopefully that'll bring it all together. Cool, yeah, like I mentioned, went to the shops this morning and grabbed some Rhinox hide and give it a good shake, because God knows how long it's been sat on the shelf of that shop for. Ooh, that was a lot harder than I thought. Oh my God, I'm sweating. I thought it would just be like little boots, just chuck some brown on them, one and done. Yeah, those, I didn't realise how many little details there are. Let's just zoom in. Yeah, I didn't realise there's so many of these tiny little braces, or like this little ball here, the buckles around the belt. And there's a tiny little gap between this brace and the top of the boot. I mean, it's awesome. I like the way it like layers it and kind of like interweaves underneath the other elements. But yeah, these boots, awesome. I absolutely love them. So I'm just going to pop to the gym and come back and then do the rest of them. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's all of the leather done. The gloves, the belts, the boots. Next up I want to try out the skin for the first time. I'm a little bit nervous about this because I've never done skin before. Not human skin at least. So it'll be my first time doing that, which is a bit nerve-wracking. But some of the previous Space Marines have had human head options without the helmet. And I've always chosen the helmet just so I didn't have to paint the skin because I've heard it's really hard. So what I'm going to do is do a base layer of Bugman's Glow all over it. And then I'm going to do some Kislev flesh over the top of like the raised section, so the Bugman Glow is left underneath in the crevices, almost like a highlight. I'm going to start with this guy just because he's got one arm, it's quite easy to get to. I'm going to test it out on him, and then if it's okay and good and I like that recipe, I'll do it on the rest of it. Yeah, so we'll let this Buckman's Glow layer dry, and then you can kind of see there's like some sort of raised muscles and such. So what we'll do is we'll apply the Kislev flesh over the top of that, and then these little crevices will have the Buckman's Glow left over. And then we'll chuck a wash of probably White Flesh Shade over the top. Yeah, I'm not sure how much you can see there, but it kind of comes up on camera a little bit. I tried to go over the muscles with the Kislev flesh and leave some of that little recesses and that there, the divots in between Buckman's Glow. That's kind of what I saw in a video. And from a distance, this is quite cool. Yeah, like from a distance, looks alright. I kind of see the effect that the tutorial I saw was going for. So we'll let that dry and we'll apply the White Flesh Shade, and then if this looks good, we'll use this sort of technique on all the rest. And if it's not, and we do something different, this guy's going to have a weird, unique arm. I mean, I feel like these muscles in these arms are kind of built for shades. Like you can kind of see the crevices where the shade is pooling, like in between the muscles, and should lightly tint the top section. I do kind of prefer the skin when it was a bit lighter. We'll see what it looks like when it dries though. So yeah, we'll come back in about 5-10 minutes when this is all dried, and then see how we're looking. Yeah, so it's fully dried now, and I think it's just a little bit too dark for my liking. Like with the armour being black and the gloves being dark, I'd kind of like the skin to be a little bit brighter, just so I can like contrast the stuff a bit more. So what I might do is do the same thing again, the Buckman's Glow base, but this time put some Rakar flesh over the top. I think the Kislev flesh is like a fine colour. Like I actually think this is a more skin colour, but it darkens down a lot once you put on the White Flesh Shade. Yeah, I think I want to try and see what the Rakar flesh looks like darkened down with the White Flesh Shade. So I'm just going to grab, I've got another dude here. I'm going to try it on this guy's arm. I'm going to put down the Buckman's Glow again, and then put the Rakar flesh over the top, and then shade with White Flesh Shade and see how that looks. So I've done two skin tones. They've both had a base of Buckman's Glow and then another colour applied over the top. So I've done, this one had Kislev flesh over the top of it, and this one had Rakar flesh, that's something a little bit lighter. And I couldn't decide which one I prefer, like the slightly darker tone or the slightly brighter tone. And then I realised everyone's skin tone is different, so I can just have different skin tones of different Marines. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to try two more. I'm going to try like a Wraithbone, like a really light skin tone, and I'm going to try Mournfang Brown for like a darker skin tone. I'm still going to incorporate like base layers of maybe Buckman's Glow, although maybe I might do like Mournfang with Buckman's over the top or something. I don't know. I'll sort something out for the dark for one of them, and then White Flesh Shade, or maybe even Agrax actually. I've got Skeleton Horde as well. I'll see how I get on. But yeah, gonna just play around with some different skin tones for different models. Awesome, so I've actually done all 4 of the skin tones, and oh my god, that was so much fun. I'll get more into it in the morning because I'm going to actually go to bed after this because it's getting quite late. But just to go over what we've done on them, we did a Buckman's Glow as a base layer on these 3, Kislev flesh on this guy, then Rakar flesh on this one, and then Wraithbone on this one. Yeah, so it's a base layer of Buckman's Glow, and then these 3 colours on each of them as like a highlight over the top of the muscles, and they were all washed with White Flesh Shade. And with this guy at the end, I wanted to try a bit of a darker skin tone. So we did a base layer of Mournfang Brown, and then we did a highlight of Buckman's Glow over the muscles, and then we did a wash of Agrax Earth Shade, just to try something completely different. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to bed and let these dry overnight, and then we can come back in the morning and talk about how much fun this was. Cool, so it's the morning and all of these Neophytes are dried and they're looking so good. Everyone always said that skin was meant to be really hard to paint, and I put it off for a long time. Like the Crusaders had the option to have faces rather than helmets, and I always chose helmets because I was like, oh, I don't want to paint skin. It's meant to be really hard, and it's a bit, we'll get to that eventually. But I actually really enjoyed this. Like, it was really fun. Like, I really enjoyed doing like the base layer and then painting like the raised muscle areas with a lighter shade. That was really like, it made it a lot more manageable, a lot easier. And what helps is they are absolutely jacked. Like, they are yoked. Look how many defined muscles they've got. Wild definition on those, like biceps, the forearms, the triceps, everything. But yeah, definitely having all the defined muscles made it a lot easier because it was really like bumped and raised and really easy to see where the muscles were to highlight, and even like the tendons and whatnot. And yeah, it was just kind of fun. Like, it was fun to put the base layer on and like kind of play whack-a-mole with the muscles. I also really liked experimenting with the different shades. Being able to be like, well, humans are all different skin tones anyway, so let's just try everything and it looks fine because they're all going to be different. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, even to a point where I'm actually kind of looking forward to doing the face. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll get there eventually. But I'm actually quite looking forward to trying the faces now. So yeah, with the big scary part out of the way, what do we do next? I think I want to put some Nuln Oil on the gloves and the boots just to finish them off because that's all that needs doing for them. And then I'm going to do the chest eagle and the pipes on the front of them. I don't know what they are. Just then that way the whole torso is done. Then we can move on to the weapons and the heads. So yeah, let's grab the Nuln Oil and then we'll work on all the metallics on the torso. Sweet, next up we're going to do Balthazar Gold on the chest insignia just to sort of add some more to the torso. So I see some people doing Retributor armor and some people doing Balthazar for these insignias. Yeah, so I think my plan with these insignias and what I like doing is I've actually done Balthazar on all of the Crusaders, and I'm going to do Balthazar on this, and then what I think I like the idea of is reserving the Retributor armor, like the brighter, fancier gold for like the higher ranking people, like the Blade, is it the Sword Brothers? And then if I get like a Emperor's Champion, Grimaldus, like all like the higher ranking Black Templars, they get the fancy like bright gold, and like the lower ranks, like especially these Neophytes, because they're like scouts. Yeah, I like the idea of them having like the Balthazar bronze, almost signify like, oh yeah, you're still a trainee. And yeah, reserving the Retributor for the higher ranking officers. It's like a fun little extra thing to add into it to justify my decisions. Yeah, there's not a lot left to go now, to be fair. Just the weapons. We're going to go with a corn red for the basing and then some lead belcher for some of the middle parts. And then after that, I think it's just the shoulders and the heads, so just some little bits. Unreal. Awesome, so that's the two colours for the weapons done, the corn red and the lead belcher for like the ammo and the blades and such. I've done it across all of them. Yeah, they've all got like the standard. It's a bit messy though, so I might come back and tidy them up. What I actually want to do is try some edge highlighting with Mephiston red on the edge of the guns, just to try something different. I've seen people try it and it's not something I've done before. So we'll get out that really fine brush and just do a couple of... So we can do some edge highlighting around some of the... This gun? Yeah. I need to have a break. So I'm just going to take stock of where I'm at and then we'll have a little break. So I've got, to be fair, I think I've got all the details done on the torso. So we've just done the weapon colours. I've tried to do some kind of edge highlighting on one of these guns. It looks okay. I might carry on with that after the break. But we've done the gun colours, done the weapon colours. Everything on the torso is done. I just need to do any edge highlighting on the weapons I want to do and then put a wash over them. And then it's just the shoulders and the head, I think. But yeah, I've been painting for a while now. Like, I think about 3-4 hours straight and I need a break. I know I've been painting for ages because the battery on the camera is about to run out. So yeah, I'm going to take a break and come back to this later, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. Alright, and we're back. Had a bit of a break. I stopped painting yesterday. Took the evening off just because I think I spent so long locked in yesterday in the zone. I was just kind of getting a bit burnt out, being a bit sloppy towards the end. So I've just got this gun to edge highlight and then this shotgun to edge highlight, and then we can move on to the shoulders and head, and that's it. Yeah, of course, I've done like a lot of edge highlighting across all weapons. I don't think it's great. I don't know, some of this looking okay. Just thought I'd try something new. Same with this shotgun. Just a couple of like edge highlights all around it. So the last thing I need to do for the weapons is just slap some Nuln oil all over them just to add some depth, because there's lots of like little crevices and whatnot for the oil to sit in. So yeah, let's do that and then we can jump on over to the shoulders. Alright, it's time for all 8 shoulder pads in one go. So normally I've been using the Vallejo Cold White for my past few ones, but I actually want to try the White Scar for a change, just to see how different this is. I never would have thought as well there'd be so many different shades of whites, but yeah, this seems like the dullest, and this seems like quite bright and bold, the White Scar one. So I'm going to try out White Scar and see how that goes. You know what, I mentioned earlier that I was enjoying the batch painting because it felt really like productive and efficient and cool. And that's because I was doing things I like painting. We've gotten onto the absolute nightmare that is the white shoulders. Yeah, doing 8 shoulder pads back to back to back to back. Maybe I have to rethink my opinion on batch painting. But I will say one of the positives is that by the time I get to the last one, the first one's pretty much dry, ready for a second coat. So I can start applying fresh coats. I've also kind of got into a little bit of a groove with them now, actually. I kind of get a vibe for how to paint in between the cracks and whatnot. So again, even funnier is that these ones will be the most messy. And then as we get around to the end, they'll be a little bit tidier than these ones. Let's see if we can have a look. Yeah, that's actually pretty spot on. That's real clean. The other side's not too bad. And then if we grab this one, yeah, look at the state of it compared to it. That's actually quite funny to see. But you live and you learn. So I'm just going to quickly just do another couple layers of white across all these. I won't include it because it's super boring. And then we can move on to the heads. Oh my god, it is the beginning of the end. We've just got these 4 heads left. That's all that's left to do. So we're going to do the same on each of the heads as we did with the muscles. We'll do a base of Bugman's Glow, and then we'll highlight some of the prominent features like cheekbones and foreheads and noses with a lighter colour like, I think it was Cadian Flesh, Rakar Flesh and Wraithbone. And then on one of them, I think, actually to be fair, it was this guy. Yeah, on this guy we're going to do a darker skin tone, which will be more Fang Brown as a base and Bugman's Glow as a highlight. And then we'll put some washes, glue them in, and we'll be done. Oh, I've just realised I haven't primed this guy. Oh my god, is he the one that's not primed? Yeah, I don't know why I completely forgot I didn't even prime this one. Oh, it's too late now. Hopefully it doesn't affect the end look too much. So that's a lot of the faces. With the base layout and the highlights done, I need to put some washes over to give them some definition and stop them looking like clowns. But also some of them have got like targeting systems, so I just need to slap some, probably just lead belcher, maybe some leather for that strap around the back and lead belcher for the earpiece. I'm not sure. So yeah, we'll just do all the little bits on the face and then slap on some washes and then call it there, I think. Oh my god, these look awful. Alright, so what I've done, especially this guy's the worst, let's look at him. I've not put enough of the highlight across all over the face. I've left like patches. Yeah, there's like big sections where I didn't put the highlight colour. I think I should have used the highlight more aggressively, like just put more coverage. Because on the arms, I purposely left like lots of gaps and divots for definition. And I thought that would be this, and I thought that would be the same on the face, but no. So I'm gonna just go over some of these with the highlight colour and try and get a little bit of a better coverage. To be fair, this guy here, the darker skin tone, actually turned out really good. Like really, really good. So I'm going to leave him, he's done. But yeah, I'm going to try and go over some of these with some more of the highlight colour, and then if they turn out okay, do the eyes, and then that's it. These faces! Oh my god. Oh, these faces are so bad. Oh my god. One of them looks actually kind of alright, dare I say good. One of them looks like like carnival clowns. Oh, it's so funny. I have to grab the worst offender. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it going to come up? I don't even know. Like, oh, the state of it. But I still need to put some wash on them, so hopefully that'll darken it down a little bit. But I tried to do like some white eyes and then like some blue or like some colour in like the eyes to make them look a bit more human, and it just made them look so stupid. It's fine though, because heads are meant to be like, sorry, faces are meant to be like the worst thing to paint, like the hardest. So the fact that these are an absolute car crash is whatever. So I'm going to put washes on. I'm going to call it there because I can't do any more. I'm just going to make them worse. So I'm going to put some washes on them and then I'm going to glue them all together and we'll do a big review. And you can see these faces in all their glory. I couldn't find a mug or a bowl, so I'm just going to cover them up with this piece of cardboard, but wait. Oh, so here we are, the finished Neophytes. Da, 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 da. Oh my god. Look at them. Oh, tell you what, overall, I do absolutely love these models. They're so cool. Like I mentioned during the painting, I absolutely love like the boots and the gloves and all the skin on them. That's like so much more compared to the Space Marines. But you know, let's just start with the faces, because that's what I did like 5 minutes ago. Let's get these two to the back and these two to the front. Overall, painting these guys was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was really challenging. Like I really enjoyed doing like all like I mentioned, the leathery parts. That was all quite new. Like the gloves and the boots. I really enjoyed doing all the skin muscles. Everybody always said online that skins and faces are the hardest things to paint. But doing these like sort of muscle biceps, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really fun. Like it was cool to get like all the definition in the muscles and like do some raised highlights and some washes to really bring out like the biceps and stuff. And I think it's quite natural and looks really good, especially on this like darker skin tone here. Like I think that's really good. Oh, focus is going wild. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, on like the biceps and stuff here, I actually think it looks really good. Like I love it. I think this is awesome, especially on this darker skin tone. It looks incredible. So I really enjoyed doing the skin, and then it came to doing the faces, and I just followed the same approach. I put like a base layer on, and then I like went over the top with a lighter colour for some highlights, and then again on this like darker skin tone, it looks like right on his face. I put some white on the pupils just to make it a little bit more human. And yeah, again, I think this guy looks awesome. And then you get to this dude. This one's the worst. I don't know what went wrong here or what happened, but he looks like he's wearing the skin of another human. He looks like Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like he's wearing a human skin mask. I don't know if it's the colours or the amount I used or whatnot, but oh my god, it's so bad. Oh, it's funny. Overall, I did really enjoy painting all the skins and the faces and stuff. It was a new challenge. It was really fun and interesting. I don't think it looks too bad. Like these other two faces kind of look okay. Like this one looks alright. Yeah, if I had to rank them best to worst, it's probably like this, right? Like the guy on the end here. This one's definitely the best. Like his hair and his face and all the shading. And then this guy's not too bad. Like he's got some blue on his nose. I'm just trying to get close. Like you can see on his nose, I've got some of the blue on it by accident. The blue I was trying to use for eyes. This guy is a bit blotchy. I also got some like Black Templar contrast on his cheek when I was trying to do some tidying up. Like he's not horrendous. And then this guy's just, yeah, leather face. So base faces, they were fine. Like, they were harder than I thought. I thought they'd be the same as the muscles, but they were vastly different and a little bit harder. But overall, it was still fun and they still look quite cool and something a bit different. I enjoyed painting the faces because it was like a new experience. But yeah, the models overall, absolutely incredible. I really, really like the Neophytes. Like I mentioned a few times, I absolutely love all the extras they've got. Compared to the Space Marines, they've got boots and they've got gloves and they've got skin showing, which kind of adds like a load of little more details and really like makes them look different. So if we grab an actual Space Marine to compare them to, yeah, like I enjoy like painting big chunky armor, but it's like kind of like a static color all over. Whereas like the Neophytes have got a lot of things going on that help break up the model. Like they've got the cool skin, they've got the boots, they've got the gloves. I like this weird thing around their head, not really sure what this is. And then yeah, they've got some extra trinkets on the back. So yeah, really enjoyed painting these. They were super fun. It was cool to, yeah, super fun. They've all got their own little details. Like this guy's got a shotgun. This guy holding his helmet is so cool. Like the sword and holding his helmet, incredible. Leather face over here, he's got like a little grenade on his in his hand. So yeah, these were super fun to paint. It was a nice like change of pace from the Crusaders, but still kind of could keep what I've learned from the Crusaders and apply it to these. So it wasn't too different, but different enough to make it interesting and fun. The dry brushing effect on his trousers, I don't know how much it's going to come up. Let's try and reorganise them. Yeah, I don't know if it comes up on camera. There's like I did some dry brushing from rust grey over the trousers, and yeah, it's kind of hit some areas here, and it like the folds and such. It looks really cool. Like I'm a massive fan of it, especially yeah, like I'm a huge fan of that around the back. Like I feel like the trousers really lent themselves to dry brushing more so than like black power armor does sometimes. So that was really fun. They've got like nice, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I'm always saying, big chunky power armor is awesome and cool. But I do quite like all the folds in like the clothy, leathery, whatever these trousers are made of. Like it makes it feel more like natural and human and real, which is quite cool. Oh, I tried some edge highlighting on the guns as well. I don't know how much it's going to come up. Yeah, across each of the guns, I did try some edge highlighting, and I think it looks okay. I thought it's kind of cool on this. It doesn't add like loads of difference, but it was fun to do, and always good to brush up my edge highlighting skills. Leatherface here has got a little bit on his gun as well. But yeah, it was super fun to paint, and I think they're going to look really cool on the shelf next to all the rest of them. There we go, 4 whole Neophytes in one video. Honestly, that was something. That's the most amount of models I've ever painted in one go. The batch painting was really fun and interesting. Like I liked that it made me feel really productive. I really enjoyed that it was like, by the time I kind of got a little bit bored of a colour, I was like, well, it's done on all of them. I don't have to do it again. Like for example, the Xandri Dust. Like once I had done it on 4 of them, I was a bit like, kind of done with this colour now. And I was like, oh, I am done. I don't have to touch it ever again. So that was quite cool. That did make the bits I don't like awful though. Yeah, like I still can't get white shoulders down. Like, if anyone knows a better way to do it or like any tips, please let me know in the comments because I'm so bad at white shoulders. This looks like chalky and uneven. Like, I know putting on the blue tack didn't help with these guys, but like overall, I feel like that's an area I really need to improve on. So doing like 8 shoulder pads and then like coming back and doing another layer was, oh no, that was a struggle. So that was one downside of the batch painting. But overall, it was really enjoyable. The fact I've bashed out 4 of them is like insane. Like I've done all the Neophytes. Like there's none left, so it's crazy. I do feel like though I got burnt out a little bit while doing these sometimes, not because I was like demoralized at the models. It's just with the batch painting, I spent so long, like honestly, like 3-4 hours, like solid, like doing like some painting, and I felt like, oh god, I'm getting a bit like burnt out, a bit tired. Like I noticed when I was doing the guns, I was getting a bit sloppy putting on like the lead belcher and whatnot, and I was like, oh, I'll just slap it on, whatever, it'll be there. And I was getting a bit messy, and I think that's because I was at the end of like a 3-hour session, and I was just a bit like burnt out mentally. I think I learned from that, which was quite good, that I need to sometimes take breaks. If I'm doing batch painting and doing lots at a time, I need to take breaks. I think it's okay with one model because I think I'll probably, if like I did 3 hours on one model, I'd probably be almost like done by that point. So yeah, if I'm doing big long sessions, probably take breaks. But no, I absolutely love these models. They're so good. I absolutely love these guys. They're brilliant. I love all the little details on them. I love how they're a little bit more human than like the Space Marines. They're not just big chunky power armor. Like I absolutely love like the big unit, Giga Chad, heavy duty Space Marines, but like painting some more like almost like down to earth kind of chill guys with like skins out and like gloves and stuff was fun. It was cool. I definitely want to try painting some more skin because yeah, it was interesting. Like I mentioned, the muscles were really good and really fun, and that was like, probably my most enjoyable part. Like I really like honestly, I actually really enjoyed doing like the muscles, like getting the raised areas and like the definition in between the muscles and the divots. Like it was really cool and really different, and I really enjoyed that. So it was kind of funny that the faces were just a car crash because I tried to do the same. So I'd definitely like in the future to maybe touch up on like maybe a facial like painting. That was quite cool. Yeah, overall, just looking at them, are they my favourite models I've ever done? Some aspects of them are like my favourite things I've done on models. So like I really liked this dude holding a helmet. Like they don't wear helmets, so I'm assuming it's for like maybe one of the Crusaders that he's like shadowing, being an apprentice for. But like yeah, him holding the helmet's cool. I really enjoyed the muscles, like I said. So some aspects of these are like I enjoyed more than anything else I've ever done. Overall, maybe not my favourite models. I do love them, like they're really, really cool. I still think, just trying to think what my favourite model is. Yeah, looking back, it's either the Impulsor or this Crusader. This one's one of my favourites. Yeah, it's this guy actually, yeah. I think this guy's still my favourite, but these guys I absolutely loved. Really, really good. Like definitely up there in like the most enjoyable models I've done. So we haven't got much left in this combat patrol. We've just got the Marshal and the Intercessors. And when I started the hobby, I did say I wouldn't have a pile of shame build up. Like I wanted to wait until I finish everything I've done before I bought anything else. I don't want to keep having like a huge pile of models ready to go. Saying that, I did pre-order the Space Wolves Army box. Oh, so I've got that coming. So if I want to stick to my promise, I've got 2 weeks left to do the Marshal and the Intercessors. We'll see how that goes. I mean, to be fair, like the painting isn't too bad. These guys took me maybe like 8 hours in total across like 3 or 4 days. So like the actual painting isn't horrendous like time-wise. I think it's just the editing of the videos. Like the painting takes maybe like 2 or 3 days and the editing takes about 4 or 5. But to be fair, I'm getting quicker with the videos and I'm getting into like a groove of what I like and whatnot. So I'll stick with them. So maybe they might get a little bit quicker. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Marshal next and pray and hope that I don't just leave these Intercessors in the box never to be done, because the second that Space Wolves box turns up, I'm just going to want to rip it open, do an unboxing and paint some guys. So we'll see how we get on with that. But if you like this video, drop us a like and subscribe and all that jazz. And tune in next time we do probably the Marshal. I need to mention a basing video actually. I'll either do all the basing of the models I've done or I'll do the Marshal, I'm not sure. We'll see what we can do. But thank you for watching and bye.